A very good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon,
Good
sir.
afternoon, sir.
Welcome back. To continue yesterday's class, we have started with MSW-2. Um, Once again, to uh, let you know that yesterday I happened to meet a technological disaster. My laptop was, yes, badly this one, out of order, and that's why some of the things I am not able to immediately compensate with the work that we were supposed to do. I have put it in the service center. Today I will take your class without PPT uh, as like yesterday. But today we can go with little bit more detail about the classes as I have uh, brought about for you here. So I think uh, sometimes we are affected by different technological difficulties, but then we have to cope up with the things and go ahead with our practice of gaining knowledge, gathering knowledge, and spreading knowledge. Okay, so today, to continue with yesterday's discussion, um, we in the first block, in the first paper of MSW-2, we saw uh, evolution of social work practice in India. Okay, evolution of social work practice in India. Um, uh, Through that, we looked at the first unit, that is history of social work, the state initiatives, how state and different state agencies include from time to time, including your this one tribal chieftains, then landlords, then kings, then the this one colloquial rulers, sorry, colonial rulers, then different governments, government agencies, how they played different important roles in carrying forward the spirit of social work through different social service, social welfare, and social development works throughout the history in India. Um, Social work as a practice, simple practice, is as old as the human civilization. But uh, as a profession, as I said you yesterday, it developed in the last part of 19th century, and slowly it expanded its spheres in the 20th century. Okay, now we are already in the 21st century, second decade, third decade of 21st century. Now, during the last century, there was a wide scale spread of social work philosophy, values, and methods and principles all over the globe. And many of the countries, as you must have gone through, many of the countries adopted social work methods in solving problems, human problems particularly, and uh, through different measures, social work uh, intervened or uh, was involved in dealing with different problems faced human society. Today, we will see. Yesterday, we saw, as I said already, yesterday we saw history of social work, that is through state initiatives. Okay, we have seen how different governments, kings, the landlords, tribal chieftains, and different ruling dispensations contributed for different approaches of social work development in India. Then today we are to look at history of social work in India through individual social reformers, individuals or social reformers. How different individuals throughout the history of India helped um, to contribute towards development of social work practice in India. How social work got evolved, changed from a traditional practice to the today's professional practice by different efforts by different individual performers or individuals in the history of India. See, as I have already said to you yesterday, that religion was the most important inspirator, agency of inspiration for the practice of social work, contributing to different ideas and philosophy of social work for human service and uh, helping a fellow being, helping the needy. All these things come from different religious scriptures, as I was just trying to introduce you to yesterday. So many people, many individuals were really, really inspired. They were guided. They were motivated. They were actually molded by different social philosophies, social philosophy, spiritual philosophy from our religious scriptures, from different religion, and many other education from Western liberalization and welfareism and democratic values. All these spread of knowledge in the, particularly in the 19th century and onwards, many people, many individuals contributed their bit for the development of the society, and they followed different methods, approaches, and different means to work for the betterment of the people in the society. They wanted, their motive was to bring about social order in the society, proper social order in the society, and solve different kinds of anomalies, different kinds of disturbances in the society, and bring about a very comfortable and happy life for the people. And that comes from the very social, pro-social attitude of individuals. Many people did that, and among them, Jyotiba Phule. Jyotiba Phule, great and among the earliest known social reformers, who was born in Maharashtra, okay, Maharashtra state of India, one of the western state of India. Uh, he has done really tremendous work in the field of social upliftment, social emancipation. Um, through his career, from 1827 to 1890, large contribution was made for the social reform and upliftment, particularly emancipation of weaker members of the society. He was again vehemently opposed. He opposed against caste system, existing caste system. during the 90 around the beginning of 19th century and 18th and 19th century, Brahminical supremacy in the Indian society was at the apex. Whatever the higher castes or the Brahmins spoke to the society, that was followed, uh, black and white. Okay, everywhere it was followed, and starting from the Vedic period to the 18th century, thousands of this one years of practice of caste system uh, actually created a big gap between lower caste, particularly the untouchables, and the higher caste people. And the this one scourge of caste system to Indian society was so much felt. It was adversely affecting all the spheres of human development in Indian society because of presence of this one the most adverse caste system in Indian society. Indian society was completely this one fragmented into different parts. I mean, separate, constantly separated parts, and you cannot just this one impenetrable, or you cannot connect them, uh, unconnected social fragmented parts. Due to that, very often the development activities undertaken were not this one passing to the lower caste people. They were always confined to the higher caste people. So, on this background, at this backdrop, Jyotiya Phule took very brave effort, one of the earliest reformer, as one of the earliest reformer. Um, Jyotiya Phule took many bold attempts, like speaking against this one Brahminical supremacy. Okay, Brahminical supremacy, spreading knowledge about this one, the evils of caste system, the evils of caste system. Then uh, uh, society was founded by Jatiya Phule, named Satya Sodhak Samaj, where truth to prevail was spread among the people, and untouchability was very strongly opposed among people. There was a consensus. She built a consensus among the people that untouchability was scourge to the society. It was a very hateful crime, as Gandhiji also said, hateful crime for the lower caste people. And some people strictly started supporting Jyotiya Phule in this action against untouchability and caste system. And through this Sodhak Samaj, many other efforts were also made to um, this one uplift the situation of weaker members of the society, backward people, women education, and many other things that even you can go through the this one materials to have a better and deeper understanding of that. And um, then came another reformer. Reformer was the Chhatrapati Sahu Maharaj. Chhatrapati Sahu Maharaj. He was among the royal families in the similar western area of the country, and uh, he was one of the most sagacious statesmen who worked in hand with the British Britishers or colonial rulers, and suggested many things for the educational upliftment of the people in the country. And he has taken many socio-religious reform actions for the people, particularly those who are from backward section of the society. And he really fought against the first national education of India, that is Hunter education. Sorry, Hunter Commission. He proposed a very good educational this one proposal he gave, and finally, when they did not accept it, he enforced it within his territory, because he was a ruler in a princely state. He was a prince in a princely state. He uh, going against the force of Britishers without obeying them, without fearlessly. He practiced some this one emancipatory programs within his territory. That was very bold action taken by this Savji Maharaj and his descendants. Um, he also this one worked against forced labor. People were very often this one taken into forced labor by a different this one zamindars and industrialists those days, and particularly Britishers. They took people as forced labor and forced them to work day and night without payment and so on. Then he also took another important this one movement against restriction of child marriage. He tried to restrict child marriage in within his territory and beyond, all over the state. And this one in India also some parts he went and tried to curtail the this one harmful practice of child marriage. He proved through his experiments that how early marriage or child marriage devastated the economic and social life of many young people. He said, without education, instead of going to the school, people went for marriage, and they just this one destroyed their educational and professional life. Education is must, he preached. Then he also founded separate school for the SC children, because he knew that due to some this one superstition and blind belief among the people, these SC children were uh, treated very badly in the schools, even by the teachers and fellow students. They were maltreated and given a very third class treatment to the children. That's why, to develop their dignity and self respect and respect for the society, uh, for their better education, he started a separate school for SC children, so that they can get educated and become empowered for the betterment of the society. Then he also um, took very vehement step for the abolition of untouchability within his territory. He strongly passed some order and ordered the people not to practice untouchability in any form. He was among the very pioneer uh, in India to act rationally and bring justice in the society, particularly for the sake of people from the lower rank of the social classification. Then another social reformer very known in South India. He is from South India, Sri Narayan Guru. Sri Narayan Guru was from Achava community in Kerala. He started the organized effort, particularly using social action and social reform methods of social work that are usually adopted in social work. Students, by the way, uh, the methods of social work. Students, am I clear to you all? Am I audible, students?
Yes, sir.
I'm audible. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Very good. So, are you aware of some of the methods of social work? This is like something like refreshing you. Huh? Don't feel I am
Sir,
putting you into hard test.
sir,
This is the part of learning. Okay.
sir,
Yes.
ethical case work, group work, community organization, social action, social welfare administration, and social research. Social work
That's
research.
very good. That's very good. Yes. That's very good. Six methods you have very clearly spoken out. You also, I remember you also mentioned about social action. The social action, see, each method has its own way of application. It has its own philosophy. It has its own set of principle. Each method has its own speciality and distinctness. So, social action is a method which usually is uh, used to this one um, influence the larger system to uh, suppress the maladaptive or corruptive practices, bring change, to remove the bad things in the society or bad thing in the system, and put in place a better system, better practice in the system. So, social action method believes that entire society is a system. If any bad thing is happening, if some part of the social system is malfunctioning, okay, malfunctioning or not functioning properly, then that affects to other parts of the system, and entire system is adversely affected. I hope you all understand what is system. System is a integration of interrelated parts uh, to function properly. Integration of interrelated part, like in computer system, we are very familiar with computer system. All keyboard, monitor, CPU, mouse, when they are put together, they start functioning properly. That's how society is a system. Okay, family is a smaller unit and smaller system, and each when we talk about system, different parts together are linked to a particular system and work integratively, interrelatedly to perform particular this one work. That's what is a system. And he thought that if some this one part of the system is rotten or spoiled, then it adversely affect the entire system. That's why what he did, especially Sri Narayan Guru, he had a relentless fight against the caste system again, because it is very clear from this, it is obvious from the this one reformers, why reformers always targeted caste system in the 19th century, 18th and 19th century. All the social reformers always worked on caste system. Why? Because uh, there was lot of this one moles. There was a lot of this one superstition, blind belief attached to the caste system. And many of the people from the lower caste were exploited in the name of caste. It had taken the worst of its form during the 18th and 19th century. That's why, and it created a lot of problem in the process of social development. All realized this, learned people realized that caste system was a curse to our society. That's why, not entirely this one, um, the caste system, many of the practices of caste system actually divided the society and created many problems for social development. That's why Sri Narayan Guru relentlessly fight against caste system. I said, uh, once again, let me remind you, he tried to influence the largest system of the society to stop caste system. He organized people who and taught them to oppose, abolish, and reject caste system. And altogether, they started a movement against the evil practices within the caste system. They influenced rulers to bring about a law, bring in a law, or enforce a law, enact a law, so that caste system should be abolished. The evil practices under caste system, particularly untouchability, should be abolished, so that many people will be liberated from the clutch of this one evil practices under caste system. He denied this one plurality of God. He did not endorse the plurality of God, many gods. He, according to him, there was a single and supreme power, uh, whom we should always this one pay homage to. He always preached this because and the expensive practices of sacrifice, jagya, and other things also he advocated against. Okay, because of this superstition and expensive jagyas and puja, many people, poor people, were badly affected. Their economy was really adversely affected. It was felt during that. So he went against that. And um, this one on the contrary, he also worked for empowerment of weaker sections, including women, lower caste people, then labor, worker sections, daily wage worker sections. He took launched many activities for the empowerment of the weaker sections. The other one is another famous, world famous. This one, he was even famous and popular among the Britishers, colonialist rulers. He was Raja Rammon Roy. He was also very from a rich family, but he did not go for his riches, but he was always pro-social, and he thought to bring some reformation, some positive change in Indian society. He was moved by the situation then. He is known as the father of Renaissance in the Indian society. In the history of India, he has recorded himself as a very brilliant social reformer and very bold. He was educated and even influenced some of the colonialist rulers to bring about some positive social acts, social legislations. He influenced William Bentinck to bring this one sati, abolition of sati in 1829. Then he started one of the premier this one earliest social movement called Brahmo Samaj. Brahma Samaj, which was uh, first established as Brahma Sabha. Then later on in 1828, it was known as Brahma Samaj, which was one of the leading this one social movement in the society. It was established by Raja Rammohn Roy, and through this organization, he organized people. He this one spread his consensus among the people and opposed child marriage as the earlier reformers did. Polygamy also he vehemently rejected polygamy. Polygamy means, you I hope you understand as students of social science, polygamy means many women marrying one man marrying many women. That is polygamy. He saw it as a problem. It was a disrespect to women. That's why he this one opposed this. Then uh, he also, like this one Narayan Guru, he also vehemently opposed this one expensive and wasteful religious practices, sacrifices, and the superstition and blind beliefs attached to them. And he also used techniques like social action and advocacy. He also used advocacy in many cases. He went to the colonial government and went to the court, and through advocacy means you have to go through the legal process through the law. And he influenced many colonial rulers to bring social legislations. ତେଣୁ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଆଡଭୋକେଟ ଭାବରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ମନା ଯାଉଥିଲା, ଆଣ୍ଡ ମାନେ ମାନୁଥିଲେ ଲୋକ। ତେଣୁ he was one of the leading social reformers in India. He is known for that, and he is known as the father of Indian Renaissance. Then Mahadev Govinder Ranade. He also was a very leading one, one of the senior persons. His life is dedicated for women empowerment and oppressed people. He founded in those days he founded the this one organization like Indian Social Conference, where he wanted to discuss about the social situation in the country and make away this one blind belief and superstition and evil practices in the society, and bring about modernized thought among the people of India. He wanted to spread knowledge through this social conference. He associated many people in this conference and tried to spread positive vibe in the society. Okay. Then he those days he supported intercaste marriage, and rejected he also rejected child marriage. And he was one of the first persons to deal with the conflict between Hindus and Muslims. There was also a conflict between at the societal level, at the social level, large scale this one conflict between partiality between Hindus and Muslims. He tried to go into the society, go to the community, and built many this one peace building groups, and try to bring about peace between this one Hindus and Muslims at the community level. Then came Swami Vivekanand. I hope most of you have familiarity with Swami Vivekananda. He was one of the um, very famous spiritual leaders all over the world. In 1890 seven, I think, 97 in World Conference of Religious, World Religious Religions, Conference of Religions in USA, Chicago. He spoke something to the world that was really astonishing for the Western leaders, and he had really mesmerized the population over there with his knowledge and philosophy. Okay, he founded Ramakrishna Mission in the name of his religious guru Ramakrishna Paramahansa, and conducted many social reform activities in India. And he linked religious activities with nationalism, and he spoke of liberty, fraternity, free thinking, and equality for all. I mean, he freedom of speech. He was also speaking about freedom of speech, liberty, and equality for all. He preached through Ramakrishna Paramahansa. He went on to speak all these things and spread knowledge in India. Then um, he also was very much in support of gender equality. He said, social progress is not possible without the progress of women in the country. And to the world also he spoke, if you want to progress your country, and progress of a country can be visualized or viewed from the progress of women in that country. So he also educated people on gender equality. Say ଏଟାକୁ ଜେଣ୍ଡର ବା women ମାନଙ୍କର ସମ୍ମାନ ପାଇଁ ବହୁତ ସଂସ୍ଥା ସେ spread କରିଥିଲେ all over the country. Then he also worked on the emancipation of weaker members of the society. Weaker members means backward people of the society. Then, of course, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, we have in the schools, we have read about this social reformer from West Bengal. He was very much popular for his gender justice. Justice. He participated um, in Brahma Samaj, and independently also he contributed to the society through his movement that on widow remarriage. In those days, widows were completely restricted from getting married again. And however, whatever the age was of widows those days, they were not allowed for remarriage. ଛୋଟ ପିଲାମାନେ 12 ବର୍ଷରେ 13 ବର୍ଷରେ ବାହା ହଉଥିଲେ। 12 13 ବର୍ଷରେ ବାହା ହେଲା ପରେ ୱିଡୋ ହେଇଗଲେ, ସେମାନେ ଜୀବନ ସାରା ୱିଡୋ ହେଇକି ରହୁଥିଲେ। And the most hating crime was that very often these widows at a very tender age were forced to jump into the funeral pyre of their husband for whatever reason, for disease or any other reason. ଯଦି ପୁରୁଷ ମାନେ ମରି ଯାଉଥିଲେ, ସ୍ତ୍ରୀ ମାନଙ୍କୁ ବାଧ୍ୟ କରାଯାଉଥିଲା ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ସତୀ ପ୍ରଥା ରେ ନିଜକୁ ଦାହ କରିବା ପାଇଁ. Then only the family was redeemed from the worldly pain. ଆଉ ସ୍ୱର୍ଗ ମୋକ୍ଷ ପ୍ରାପ୍ତି ପାଇଁ ୱିଡୋସ୍ ମାନଙ୍କୁ ହଜବେଣ୍ଡ ମାନଙ୍କର ଅଗ୍ନିରେ ଜୁଇରେ ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ନିଜକୁ ଫୋପାଡ଼ିବାକୁ ପଡୁଥିଲା. It was vehemently opposed by Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, and he believed that Through education and empowerment of women, this could be possible. He also worked on child remarriage, widow remarriage, and work against child marriage and women education. All these three components were very importantly taken up by Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, and he also worked against the evil practices under the caste system. Then another reformer, very well-known reformer, that is Dayanand Saraswati. He is known for his Arya Samaj. ସେ 1875 ମସିହାରେ ଆର୍ଯ୍ୟ ସମାଜ ପ୍ରତିଷ୍ଠା କରିଥିଲେ in the line of Brahmo Samaj, but philosophically it was bit different from Brahmo Samaj. He also worked in the similar lines, similar issues of Indian society, but he preached people to go back to Vedas. Very often there was also a problem that many people did not obey Vedas, went against the this one the noble practice, good practices of Vedas, and many things were twisted according to the Brahmanic supremacy and Brahmanic preachings. And Brahmins or priests those days twisted many rules, religious, spiritual rules, for their uh, gave a clear call to people to go back to Vedas. And real spirit of Vedas was spoiled in those days, and he was concerned about this. And they started a network of education uh, that even continues today. Through different educational institutions, they started to spread the valid and real knowledge of Hindu philosophy, and Hindu darshan, okay, the darshan of Hinduism, and also they provided some secular education for the empowerment of the weaker members of the society. Okay, then actually these reformers that we spoke about were before independence. They operated before independence. See, all the reformers have been classified into three groups. First, where that we have discussed, starting from your Jyotiya Phule to uh, your Dayanand Saraswati and others. They were among the social reformers who worked before independence, during the British period, during the colonial rule, where when the situation of Indian society was very worst. Okay, it was the worst situation. Many people were affected uh, in different ways. In different ways. So these people took these issues upfront and work for the betterment of the society. Then uh, another set of reformers, those practiced. See, one more thing I want to say before this one independence, reform and reconstruction activity was major problem. Reform was major. This one social reform was a major call for the reformers. Okay, social reform, institutional change, social change, change in the social practices was important, and the um, main this one method of social work that was adopted was like social action and community organization. During these days, community organization and social action, okay, social action method was really reflected among the social reformers through by experimenting and applying these methods. They contributed immensely to the field of social work, though it was not very much popular in India. Okay, these concepts use the methods and approaches used by these reformers have been taken in the social action method in Indian cases. Okay, Indian cases, Indian context. So, social reformers during independence, one of the very famous this one social reformer during independence was, as you know, Mahatma Gandhi, who is acclaimed as this one accepted as father of the nation because of his wholehearted this one contribution to the liberation of the country. He uh, experimented many things, okay, many things, and really took control of the Indian population in those days through his powerful advocacy. Okay, powerful advocacy and social action method. He also largely used social action method because he organized people against the evil practices or malpractices or corruptive practices in the society, whether maybe by the landlords, by the British government officials, or many other kings or prince, against all of them, or against the corruptive practices he stood for the people. So he it is you all know about what action he has done for India. It is not much needed to speak about him. Then another champion was B.R. Ambedkar, who is the again the father of Indian Constitution. He was born in the Mahar community in Maharashtra, one of the backward communities, backward castes in Maharashtra, and he experienced the oddest of situation of caste system. He rose against it, he struggled against it, and made himself one of the most learned person in the world. And he came back in spite of lot of offers for him abroad as scientist and many development worker at the global level. He came back to India and contributed immensely to the social reform activities in India. Particularly, who he was very much involved uh, against the caste system, evil practices of caste system. In those days, Maharashtra and many other places were very much known for the caste system. So he also engaged in this one, making the constitution better one through laws and legal practice. This one, B.R. Ambedkar also worked for education of the backward children. He said about education of backward children, for speaking while speaking for education of weaker sections, he said, education is the tiger's milk. Those who drink, those who drink, they never remain quiet. He compared education with tiger's milk, and he gave the clarion call of uh, educate, organize, and agitate. These are very famous three words. He come from the education of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He said, educate, organize, and agitate. You educate yourself, then organize yourself, then you can agitate against or struggle against or protest against whatever evil practices are there. You have to educate yourself, organize yourself. If you are not organized, you cannot fight against the evil system. You have to organize yourself. And if you are not educated, you cannot organize yourself. Neither can you stand against evil practices strongly. So he practiced this one. See, students, I'm not speaking exactly what is given in your textbook. I'm speaking something that is at least addition to the this one, your text provided to you. Okay, that's why, so that you can add something to your this one, add some knowledge to your text provided over there. Then another important reformer during the freedom struggle, during the independence or freedom struggle, was Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, he was from Gujarat, and we know him very much for his efforts of integration of the people. Integration of the people. He made a tremendous effort to integrate people across social caste and religion and locations. He worked hard. He for his efforts to this one influence people and implement this one social principles, or putting people uh, together and act for the betterment of the society. Mahatma Gandhi himself called him Sardar. He was known as Sardar because he really had tremendous efficiency in influencing people, to capture people, to do good for the society. That's why he was known as Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. He uh, almost merged more than 600 princely states in the territory of India. Those who were not uh, interested to get merged with Indian mainstream geographical area. So he also for his work he also used some techniques, community organization technique and social action technique and counseling technique. All these he used and uh, tried to integrate people. He is also known as the father of integration. Now in Gujarat, there is a big statue, world's biggest statue, made uh, made in Gujarat, name as Statue of Unity. Statue of Unity. It is the highest and biggest statue in the world now. Okay, so in his name, that is the statue of Vallabhbhai Patel. Okay, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Then uh, this one, the other one was Thakur Bappa. Okay, Thakur Bappa. Uh, he was another very important personality. He dedicated his life for the emancipation and enhancement or development of tribal people. He was living among the tribes, and he all through his life he experimented a lot of things, wrote many things, and worked for the liberation of the tribal people. There was another man who um, researched very extensively, uh, Irwin, Elvin Uri, Irwin. He was a foreign scientist, but he worked among tribal people. He wrote about Thakur Papa, uh, that he was the champion of father of tribes in India. Others father of tribes, indigenous people in India. He uh, guided them for education. Blind belief, superstition among tribal people were really addressed by the intervention of Thakur Bapa. His approach was mainly casework and group work, casework and group work, and particularly counseling he used to this one educate tribal people against different this one uh, harmful practices, and he also used social action. He also used social action against the British government. He united tribal people to fight for their rights and influenced British government to make suitable this one social legislation for the betterment of the tribes. Then the other one was Binova Bhave. You know, uh, his famous movement Bhudan and Gramdan. He worked for mitigating the this one gap between rich and poor. Okay, almost all the reformers in the country worked really to reduce the gap between the and the poor, rich and the poor. And Binoba Bhave's strategy or method was very, very distinct, uh, and he targeted the landlords and people having larger land to gift piece of land for the benefit of untouchables or poor people, lower caste people, because the untouchables and lower caste people did not have land to cultivate. They did not have any agricultural land. They were not in the post-Vedic period. Starting from the post-Vedic period, these people were not allowed to own any land. These people and untouchables and scheduled caste people and tribal people, particularly scheduled caste people, were not allowed to even wear dress in the upper limb. They were not allowed to put on this one shoes, I mean chappals. They were not allowed in some part of the country. They were not allowed to even hold an umbrella when they are in the sun or under the rain. They were not allowed that. They were not allowed even to walk through the street of upper caste, so that may defile their this one. Their very shadow may defile them. They were not allowed to drink water from the public wells. So this is how they were deprived, and for that reason some people like Binoba Bhave, Thakur Bapa, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, they concentrated to uh, mitigate the gap between the higher caste and lower caste. And this was one of the most popular approaches of Dr. Binoba Bhave, who took some this one land from the richest people, landlords, and those who have had this one larger patches of land. ସେମାନଙ୍କ ଠାରୁ ଛୋଟ ଛୋଟ ଜମି ଦାନରେ ଆଣିକି ସେ ଗରିବ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କୁ ସେଇଟା ଦଉଥିଲେ। ସେଇ ଗାଁର ଯୋଉମାନେ ଆଣ୍ଟଚେବଲ ଥିଲେ, ଯୋଉମାନେ ଲୋୟର କାଷ୍ଟର ଲୋକ ଥିଲେ, ଯୋଉମାନଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ କଲ୍ଟିଭେସନ ପାଇଁ ଲ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡ ନଥିଲା, ଯୋଉଥିପାଇଁ ସେମାନେ ଗରିବ ଅବସ୍ଥାରେ ବଞ୍ଚୁଥିଲେ, ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ସପୋର୍ଟ କରିବା ପାଇଁ, ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ କଲ୍ଟିଭେସନାଲ ରିସୋର୍ସେସ୍ ଦେବା ପାଇଁ, କ୍ୟାପିଟାଲ ଦେବା ପାଇଁ ସେ କ'ଣ କଲେ, ଗରିବ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କ ଗରିବ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କଠୁ ଲ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡ ଆଣିକି ସେ ସରି ଧନୀ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କ ଠାରୁ ଲ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡ ଆଣି ଗରିବ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କୁ ସେଇଟାକୁ ଦାନ କରୁଥିଲେ, ଦଉଥିଲେ। ସେଇଟାକୁ ଭୂଦାନ ମୁଭମେଣ୍ଟ ବୋଲି କୁହାଯାଏ। ସିଏ ଇଭେନ୍ ସମ୍ କିଙ୍ଗସ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ପ୍ରିନ୍ସଲି ଷ୍ଟେଟ୍ସ ର ରୁଲର ମାନେ ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ତାଙ୍କୁ in some cases They provided villages as well. Entire villages was donated. Village was donated, and these people from backward castes were rehabilitated in those villages. This is how he moved throughout India, throughout the country, in different states to this one make the movement successful. Okay. Then the other one was Sir from the Muslim community. He was Sir Shahid Ahmed Khan. Okay. He actually targeted for the program of Muslim education. He was influenced by the liberal thought of the Western education, and he tried to spread Western education among the Muslims. Because in those days, what happened? Many of the madrasas and Muslim education system was separated from the secular system, and they were educated mostly in the madrasas. So he tried to merge these madrasas with the secular education available in the country. He opposed such traditional education only. He wanted to spread modern education among the Muslims. And for that reason, he also started Aligarh Muslim University. Aligarh Muslim University was his contribution. Okay, to spread Western education and make a lot of research. Then um, he expected that such kind of education can people, liberate these poor people from many social evils and social superstition to come up uh, from the poverty, prevailing poverty. Then another very important personality who worked on this one social reform in the country was Rabindranath Tagore. Who doesn't know Rabindranath Tagore? Rabindranath Tagore was a Nobel laureate. Okay, Nobel laureate. Uh, I think he is the first one. 1913, in the year 1913, he got Nobel Prize. He was not only this one man of literature, but he got his Nobel Prize for his literature, Gitanjali. But he was a social reformer as well. He wrote the first letter to the Hunter Commission about seeking the this one. He for the first time he used the word right in the term of education. He wrote a letter to Hunter Commission, and his writing were very powerful. He even influenced the British, many of the British generals and governors through his writings. People respected him. People respected him for his intellect, and he conducted an experiment in Santiniketan. Now, Biswa Bharati University has developed. That is mostly the contribution of Rabindranath Tagore. And there is a very good, very developed this one social work department in that university for vocational education, for rural education, for rural development, community development, all the things he had experimented in that setup. He is this one like Sabarmati Ashram of Mahatma Gandhi. He had done this Santiniketan in experiment for rural reconstruction and rural development. So he had tremendously influenced the social this one, development of this country during the independence movement. Then and now these were the people who were operating during the freedom movement, freedom struggle, the struggle for independence in the country, starting from your Mahatma Gandhi, B.R. Ambedkar, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Thakur Bapa, Binoba Bhave, Said Dishan. um, Ahmad Khan, Saeed Ahmad Khan, Rabindranath Tagore, and many others. You can go through. And the third set of social reformers, those who worked for this one, um, social reform activities in the country were um, post-independence reformers. Post-independent reformers. There were some social activists, so to say. By this time now, after independence, these people were called social activist rather than social reformer. There is a difference between social activist and social reformer. Of course, social in Indian case, we don't have much difference between social reformer and social activist. Before explaining about this, I would say another concept. What is social reform? What is the difference between social action and social reform? Social reform means changing the mindset of the people. Reformation starts from changing the mindset, thinking of the people. It is about changing the software of the people. Changing the software of the people. It is a soft intervention. If you want to change the software of the people, software of the society, then to have intervention, very soft intervention through education and soft intervention. So that is the difference between. That is the distinguishing characteristics of social reform. Okay, unlike social action, which takes physical action and legal action and other thing, it is social reform is very much associated with changing the mindset of the people through education and through awareness. That is social reform. When people change their mindset and change their behavior towards a particular thing, that is social reform. Okay, now can we on the halfway, can we take some this one questions related to our classes here? Students, if you have any doubts and problems, you can we can address that. Any questions and queries and clarifications? Okay. Any questions and clarification? Situsma, are you very clear about the course you were asking about yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have got the proper one?
Again.
ठीक ठीक ମାନେ material ମିଳି ଯାଇଛି ତ?
ମ୍ୟାଟେରିଆଲ ମିଳିଛି କିନ୍ତୁ ତଥାପି କନଫ୍ୟୁଜ ଅଛି।
କାହିଁକି କନଫ୍ୟୁଜ? କାହିଁ ମତେ ସେ ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ବ୍ଲକ ର ୟୁନିଟ ଗୁଡାକ କହିବେ?
ଆଜ୍ଞା କହୁଛି। ସାର୍ ମୁଁ ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ସଆପ ରେ ସେଣ୍ଡ କରିଦେବି।
କାହିଁ କରିନାହାନ୍ତି ତ ମତେ ଏ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ? Make it clear
ଆଜ୍ଞା
so that it helps you to get prepared. Huh?
ଆଜ୍ଞା କରିଦେବି। ଆଜି କରିଦେବି।
Hmm. Any other problems, friends? Okay, you think about what you want to ask. Any clarification, any problem you have about this one, your practical or theoretical work, you think and you will ask. I will give another space for you. You think about it. Now we will take another set of reformers in India. Those who were, as I said, they were known as social activists. In the post-independence period, already there was some recognition for social work in India, and some kind of after independence, many of the social activists or social reformers, those we call reformers traditionally, they were social activists. Their approach was changed to some extent. Now, after the independence, uh, they were known as social activists, and their action was mainly right-based action. They fought for the rights of the people. ଅଧିକାର ପାଇଁ ସେମାନେ ଲଢିଲେ। କନଷ୍ଟିଟ୍ୟୁସନ ରେ ବହୁତ ଗୁଡେ ଅଧିକାର ଦିଆ ହେଇଥିଲା। କନଷ୍ଟିଟ୍ୟୁସନ ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ ଆମକୁ ବହୁତ ସାରା ଯୋଉ ଅଧିକାର ସହିତ ଜଡିତ ଅଧିକାର ସହିତ ଜଡିତ ବହୁତ ସାରା ଆମକୁ ଇନଫର୍ମେସନ ମିଳିଗଲା। ଫଣ୍ଡାମେଣ୍ଟାଲ ରାଇଟ୍ସ ଆମ ଆଖି ସାମ୍ନାରେ ରହିଲା, ଯାହାରି ଫଳରେ କୌଣସି କ୍ଷେତ୍ରରେ ଯଦି କୌଣସି ଜାଗାରେ ଲୋକଙ୍କର ଅଧିକାର କୋଉଠି ଭାୟୋଲେଟ ହେଲା, କୋଉଠି ଯଦି ଲୋକଙ୍କର ଅଧିକାର ମେ ବି ସୋସିଆଲ सोशल लेवल रे हो किंबा इंडिविजुअल लेवल रे हो, फैमिली लेवल रे हो, ग्रुप लेवल रे हो किंबा स्टेट लेवल रे हो किंबा एरिया लेवल रे हो, कोठी जदी कोनोसी अधिकार जड़ित किसी समस्या देखा देला ताहले बहुत लोक बाहरी थिले, बहुत सोशल एक्टिविस्ट माने बाहरी थिले। सेमानक मध्यरे बाबा आमते होउछंती जणे, सी बोथ जणे सोशल reformer and social activist. He was born around 1914. That's why before independence also he operated. Okay, particularly he emphasized on rehabilitating the lepers, the people who suffered from leprosy. ସେଇ ସମୟରେ leprosy କୁ ଗୋଟେ ରୋଗ, କେବଳ ରୋଗ ବୋଲି ମାନୁନଥିଲେ ଲୋକ। ସେଇ ସମୟରେ leprosy କୁ ଭଗବାନଙ୍କ ଠାରୁ ଅଭିଶାପ ବୋଲିକି ବିଶ୍ୱାସ କରାଯାଉଥିଲା। ଆଉ ଯୋଉମାନଙ୍କୁ leprosy ହଉଥିଲା ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ସମାଜରୁ ବାଛନ୍ଦ କରାଯାଉଥିଲା, ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ସମାଜରୁ ତଡ଼ି ଦିଆଯାଉଥିଲା। ଆଉ ସେମାନଙ୍କର ମାନେ ସାମାଜିକ ଆର୍ଥିକ ଅବସ୍ଥା ବହୁତ ଖରାପ ହେଇଯାଉଥିଲା। ସେମାନେ ହେଲ୍ପଲେସ୍ ହେଇଯାଉଥିଲେ, ଡେଷ୍ଟିଟ୍ୟୁସନ କୁ ପଳେଇ ଯାଉଥିଲେ, ଆଉ ବହୁତ ଲୋକ ମରି ବି ଯାଉଥିଲେ ସେମିତି ସେଇଭଳି ସିଚୁଏସନରେ। ଇଭେନ ଆଜି ବି କୁଷ୍ଠ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କୁ ହେଲ୍ପ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ବହୁତ ଲୋକ ଡରନ୍ତି। Okay? Except few organizations that have come up to help these people. ତ କୁଷ୍ଠ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କୁ ଲୋକ ଭିକ୍ଷା ଦେବା ପାଇଁ ବି ଡରୁଥିଲେ। ସେଇ ସମୟରେ ବାବା ଆମତେ started an ashram, a residential facility for this one, for the experiment of this one, leprosy, and ସେଇ ଏକ୍ସପେରିମେଣ୍ଟରେ ସିଏ ଏମିତି ବି କରିଛନ୍ତି, ଲୋକଙ୍କୁ ଦେଖେଇଛନ୍ତି କି ଦେଖ ମୁଁ ଲେପ୍ରୋସିର ଯୋଉ ଲେପ୍ରା ଜର୍ମ ଟାକୁ ତାଙ୍କ ବ୍ଲଡ ଭିତରେ ଦେଇକି ସେ ସେ କିଛି ହୁଏନି ବୋଲିକି ସେ ତାକୁ ପ୍ରମାଣ କରିଥିଲେ। ତାର ସିଭିୟରିଟି କୁ ଟେଷ୍ଟ କରିଥିଲେ, ୟାର ସିଭିୟରିଟି କଣ କଣ ପେନ୍ ଅଛି କଣ, ସେଇଟାକୁ ଜାଣିବା ପାଇଁ ସେ ନିଜ ଭିତରକୁ ସେଇ ଲେପର ନାମକ ଗୋଟେ ଯୋଉ ଯାହା ଯୋଗୁ ଲେପ୍ରୋସି ହୁଏ, କୁଷ୍ଠ ରୋଗ ହୁଏ, ତାକୁ ତାଙ୍କ ବ୍ଲଡ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିମ ରେ ଇନସର୍ଟ କରିଥିଲେ। So this is how he was very much committed towards the cause of rehabilitation of this uh, leper people, and he tried to dispel or remove the prejudices attached against leprosy. Leprosy ବିଷୟରେ ଯୋଉ ଲୋକଙ୍କ ମଧ୍ୟରେ ବ୍ଲାଇଣ୍ଡ ବିଲିଫ ଥିଲା, ସୁପରଷ୍ଟିସନ ଥିଲା, जो स्टेरियोटाइप थिला ताकू से समाज रू दूर करिया ପାଇଁ बहुत चेष्टा करथिले ता छडा से मध्य आ गोटे इम्पोर्टेंट मूवमेंट रे भाग नैथिले सेटा हला भारत जोड़ो मूवमेंट ओके भारत को काश्मीर टू कन्याकुमारी पुणे गुजरात रू अरुणाचल प्रदेश हाँ ସବୁ ଗୁଡାକୁ ଗୋଟେ एकांग भूखंड भाव में प्रतिष्ठित करने ପାଇଁ से बहुत एफर्ट ଦେଇଥିଲେ ଗୋଟେ यूनिफाइड जियोग्राफिकल एरिया भाव में ताको एस्टाब्लिश करिया ପାଇଁ से ଗୋଟେ मूवमेंट स्टार्ट करथिले लोकन को भारतर यूनिटी आ इंटेग्रिटी विषय रे से बहुत माने कथा कहिसंती ओके and he also fought for the right of the people in the Narmada Valley. In those days, Narmada Dam was planned to this one, uh, yes, construct for the irrigation purpose and power this one generation. And people in those areas were very much affected. ଲୋକଙ୍କର ବଞ୍ଚିବାର ଅଧିକାର ବାସଗୃହର ଅଧିକାର ଖାଦ୍ୟ ଅଧିକାର ହଁ ରାଇଟ୍ ଟୁ ଫୁଡ୍ ଏଗୁଡାକ ସବୁ ସେତେବେଳେ ଆଫେକ୍ଟେଡ ହେଇଥିଲେ ସବୁ ଆଫେକ୍ଟେଡ ହେଇଥିଲେ ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ସେ କଣ କରିଥିଲେ ଏମାନଙ୍କୁ ଏଇ ଅଧିକାର ଗୁଡାକୁ ବଞ୍ଚେଇବା ପାଇଁ ବହୁତ ସାରା ମୁଭମେଣ୍ଟ ଲୋକଙ୍କର ଆନ୍ଦୋଳନ ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ ବହୁତ ପ୍ରଚେଷ୍ଟା କରିଥିଲେ okay? Then after Baba Amte, another ଏଇଟା ବହୁତ social activist ବୋଲି କୁହାଯିବନି ଇଏ ହଉଛନ୍ତି ଜଣେ social service dedicated committed social service woman ସେ ହଉଛନ୍ତି Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa also got this one Nobel Prize in 1979 I think 79 or 69 79 she got this one Nobel Prize for his for her social service. She also worked for lepers and she also worked for many other people who were due to poverty who were deprived of medical facilities poor and destitute people ଯୋଉମାନେ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିଟ୍ ରେ ପଡି ରହୁଥିଲେ ଯୋଉମାନେ ହେଲ୍ପଲେସ୍ କଣ୍ଡିସନ ରେ ଥିଲେ ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ଉଠେଇ ନେଇକି ସେବା କରିକି ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ରିହାବିଲିଟେଟ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରୁଥିଲେ ସିଏ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ଆଲବାନିଆର ସିଟିଜେନ ଥିଲେ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆକୁ ସିଷ୍ଟରହୁଡ ଖ୍ରୀଷ୍ଟିଆନ ମାନଙ୍କର କ୍ୟାଥଲିକ ଖ୍ରୀଷ୍ଟିଆନ ମାନଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ ସଂଘରେ ଏଠି ଆସିକି ସିଷ୍ଟର ହେଇକି ଥିଲେ ସିଏ କାଲକାଟାର ଇଣ୍ଡିଆର ଗରିବ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କର ଅବସ୍ଥା ଦେଖି ଅତ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଭାବରେ ମାନେ ମର୍ମାହତ ହେଇଥିଲେ ଆଉ ସେ ନିଜର ସଂସ୍ଥା ଆରମ୍ଭ କଲେ କଲକାତାରେ ମିଶନାରିଜ ଅଫ ଚାରିଟି ବୋଲି ଗୋଟେ ସଂସ୍ଥା ଆରମ୍ଭ କରି ସେ ବହୁତ ଲୋକଙ୍କୁ ସେବା କରିଥିଲେ ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ତାଙ୍କୁ ନୋବେଲ ପୁରସ୍କାର ମଧ୍ୟ ଦିଆଯାଇଥିଲା ତେଣୁ ଏନଜିଓ ସେକ୍ଟରରେ ଯୋଉମାନେ କାମ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଲୋକଙ୍କର ସେବା ପାଇଁ ଗରିବ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କର ସେବା ପାଇଁ ଯୋଉମାନେ ଅସୁସ୍ଥ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କର ସେବା ପାଇଁ ଏଇ ଲେପର ମାନଙ୍କର ସେବା ପାଇଁ ଯୋଉମାନେ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି କାମ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଲେପର ମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ଟ୍ରେମେଣ୍ଡସ୍ ୱାର୍କ ଦେ ହାଭ୍ ବିନ୍ ଡୁଇଂ ସେମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ସିଏ ହଉଛନ୍ତି ଗୋଟେ ବହୁତ ବଡ ଇନ୍ସପିରେସନ if social workers must visit her setup she has made for serving the people ବହୁତ ଛୋଟ ଆକାରରେ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିଥିଲେ କିନ୍ତୁ ଅଲ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆରେ ହୋଲ ୱାର୍ଲଡରେ ସେ ତାକୁ ସେ ମୁଭମେଣ୍ଟ କୁ ଫେମସ କରେଇ ଦେଇଥିଲେ ମୁଭମେଣ୍ଟ ତ ନୁହଁ ସେଟା ଗୋଟେ ସୋସିଆଲ ସର୍ଭିସ ଓକେ ଏଫର୍ଟ ଦେନ୍ ମେଧା ପାଟକର मॉडर्न सोशल वर्क रे नामी सोशल वर्कर जे सोशल मूवमेंट रे इन्वॉल्व है कि इंडिया रे चहल पकई देथिले से होसंती मेधा पाटकर ओके टीस रे से पाठ पढ़थिले टीस टाटा इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ सोशल साइंस जे कि इंडिया रे इंडिया को सोशल वर्क को आनिबार बापा जे कि ସେ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆକୁ ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କ ଆଣିଥିଲା ଟିସ୍ ଟାଟା ଇନଷ୍ଟିଚ୍ୟୁଟ୍ ଅଫ୍ ସୋସିଆଲ ସାଇନ୍ସେସ୍। ସେଇଠି ସେ ପାଠ ପଢୁଥିଲେ। ସେଠି ପିଏଚଡି ସାରିବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ହିଁ ସେ ନର୍ମଦା ବଚାଅ ଆନ୍ଦୋଳନରେ ଭାଗ ନେଇଥିଲେ। ଆଉ ସେଠି ଭାଗ ନେଲା ପରେ ବହୁତ ସେ ପପୁଲାର ହେଇଯାଇଥିଲେ ଲୋକଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ। ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କର ଅଧିକାର ଯୋଉଟା ମୁଁ ଆଗରୁ କହିଥିଲି, ଯୋଉଟା ବାବା ଆମତେ ଆଡ୍ରେସ କରିଥିଲେ, ଆଡ୍ରେସ କରିପାରିନଥିଲେ କମ୍ପ୍ଲିଟଲି, ସେଇଟାକୁ ଇଏ ହାତେଇଥିଲେ। ଆଉ ସେଠୁ ସେ ବହୁତ ସାରା ମୁଭମେଣ୍ଟରେ ଭାଗ ନେଇଥିଲେ। ସେ ମଧ୍ୟ ନ୍ୟାସନାଲ ଆଲିଆନ୍ସ ଫର ପିପୁଲ୍ସ ମୁଭମେଣ୍ଟ ଗଠନ କରିଥିଲେ। ସେଠିର ଚେୟାର ପର୍ସନ ସେ ରହିଛନ୍ତି। ଆଉ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆର ବହୁତ ସାରା ମୁଭମେଣ୍ଟରେ ସେ ଜଣେ ଇନସେପାରେବଲ ପାର୍ଟ। ଇଭେନ ଗ୍ଲୋବାଲ ଲେଭେଲରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ବହୁତ ମୁଭମେଣ୍ଟରେ ସେ ଭାଗ ନେଇଛନ୍ତି। ଆଉ ରିସେଣ୍ଟ ଡେଜରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଇନ ଦ ପୋଷ୍ଟ ଇଣ୍ଡିପେଣ୍ଡେନ୍ସ ପିରିୟଡ ତାଙ୍କର ଷ୍ଟ୍ରେଟ ଫରୱାର୍ଡ ନେଚର, ତାଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ସୋସିଆଲ ଆକ୍ସନ ମେଥଡ ସେ ୟୁଜ କରିକି ବହୁତ ସାରା ସକ୍ସେସ ଆଣିଥିଲେ। ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ତାଙ୍କୁ ବହୁତ ସାରା ପ୍ରାଇଜେସ୍ ଆଉ ନ୍ୟାସନାଲ ଆଉ ଇଣ୍ଟରନ୍ୟାସନାଲ ଆୱାର୍ଡସ ମିଳିଛି। ହଁ, ବହୁତ ସାରା ଇଭେନ କାଷ୍ଟ ଆଣ୍ଟି କାଷ୍ଟ ମୁଭମେଣ୍ଟ ମଧ୍ୟ ମୁଭମେଣ୍ଟରେ ସେ ଲିଡ କରିଛନ୍ତି। ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କର ଅଧିକାର ପାଇଁ ସେ ବହୁତ ସାରା ମୁଭମେଣ୍ଟରେ ଭାଗ ନେଇକି ବହୁତ ଭଲ କାମ କରୁଛନ୍ତି। Then the other one is Sundarlal Bahuguna among the post-independent reformers. He was a great environmentalist. He inspires us for sustainable development. ଯଦି ପୃଥିବୀକୁ ବଞ୍ଚେଇବାକୁ ଅଛି ତାହେଲେ you have to have sustainable culture, he says. And ସିଏ ଚିପକୋ ମୁଭମେଣ୍ଟର ସେ ହଉଛନ୍ତି, ସେ ଥିଲେ ଜଣେ ପରାମର୍ଶଦାତା ଲିଡର। ଚିପକୋ ମୁଭମେଣ୍ଟ ଆପଣ ମାନେ ଜାଣିଥିବେ, ଯୋଉଟା ହିମାଲୟାନ ଷ୍ଟେଟ୍ସ ଗୁଡାକରେ ଗଛ କାଟିବାକୁ ମନା କରିବା ପାଇଁ ସ୍ତ୍ରୀ ମାନେ ଗଛକୁ ଏମ୍ବ୍ରେସ କରୁଥିଲେ। ଆଉ ବହୁତ ସାରା ଗଛ ସେମାନେ ବଞ୍ଚେଇ ଦେଇଥିଲେ ହିମାଲୟାନ ଏରିଆର ଏନଭାୟରନମେଣ୍ଟକୁ ରକ୍ଷା କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଲୋକଙ୍କର। ମାନେ ଏଇଟା ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ଚିପକୋ ମୁଭମେଣ୍ଟ ଗୋଟେ ରେଫରେନ୍ସ ପଏଣ୍ଟ ହେଇଗଲା ବହୁତ ସାରା ସାରା ଦେଶରେ ଏନଭାୟରନମେଣ୍ଟାଲିଷ୍ଟ ମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ। ୟାର ପୃଷ୍ଠପୋଷକତା ଦେଇଥିଲେ ସୁନ୍ଦରଲାଲ ବହୁଗୁଣା। ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ଲିଡ୍ କରିଥିଲେ, ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ସପୋର୍ଟ କରିଥିଲେ। ତ ତା ଛଡା ସେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଅନ୍ୟାନ୍ୟ ଅଧିକାର ଜଡିତ ମୁଭମେଣ୍ଟ ଗୁଡାକରେ ଥିଲେ, ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାମିଲ ଅଛନ୍ତି। ଆଉ ଲୋକଙ୍କୁ ଦିଗଦର୍ଶନ ଦଉଛନ୍ତି। ତ ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ ହାଉ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ସେଟ୍। ପ୍ରଥମ ହେଲା ପ୍ରି ଇଣ୍ଡିପେଣ୍ଡେଣ୍ଟ ରିଫର୍ମର୍ସ, ଦେନ୍ ଡ୍ୟୁରିଂ ଇଣ୍ଡିପେଣ୍ଡେନ୍ସ ଅର ଇଣ୍ଡିପେଣ୍ଡେନ୍ସ ମୁଭମେଣ୍ଟ ରିଫର୍ମର୍ସ, ଆଉ ପୋଷ୍ଟ ଇଣ୍ଡିପେଣ୍ଡେଣ୍ଟ ରିଫର୍ମର୍ସ ଟୁଗେଦର ଆମକୁ ବହୁତ କଥା ଶିଖେଇଛନ୍ତି। ଆଉ ପର୍ଟିକୁଲାରଲି ପୋଷ୍ଟ ଇଣ୍ଡିପେଣ୍ଡେଣ୍ଟ ରିଫର୍ମର୍ସ ମାନେ ରାଇଟ୍ ବେସ୍ଡ ଆପ୍ରୋଚେସ୍ କେମିତି ନିଆଯିବ, ତାର ସେଇ ଜିନିଷ ଗୁଡାକ ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କକୁ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁଟ କରିଛନ୍ତି। ଡାଇରେକ୍ଟଲି ଆମେ ଦେଖିଲେ କିଛି ଲୋକ ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କ ଇନଷ୍ଟିଟ୍ୟୁଟରୁ ବାହାରି ଆସିକି ସୋସିଆଲ ମୁଭମେଣ୍ଟରେ ସେମାନଙ୍କର ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କ ମେଥଡ୍ସ ଗୁଡାକୁ ୟୁଜ କରିଛନ୍ତି। Okay, this is how different individuals in different points of time in India have contributed for practice of the welfare practices and social work practices in India, and contributed to the literature of social work. ଆଜି ବି ସେମାନଙ୍କର different approaches ଆଉ methodology ଯୋଉଟା ସେମାନେ use କରିଥିଲେ, particularly ଗାନ୍ଧୀଆନ social work method, ଆପଣଙ୍କର ରାଇଟ୍ ବେସ୍ଡ ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କ ମେଥଡ୍ସ, ଆପଣଙ୍କର ରିଫର୍ମ ମେଥଡ୍ସ, ଏଇଗୁଡାକ ସବୁ ବିବେକାନନ୍ଦଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ଶାନ୍ତିନିକେତନ ଏକ୍ସପେରିମେଣ୍ଟ, ରୁରାଲ ରିକନଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ସନ ମେଥଡ, କମ୍ୟୁନିଟି ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ ଟେକ୍ନିକ୍ସ, ଏଗୁଡାକ ସବୁ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ମେଥଡ ସହିତ ଆସୋସିଏଟ କରିକି ୟୁଜ କରାଯାଉଛି। ପାର୍ଟିସିପେସନ ମେଥଡ ଗୁଡା, ପାର୍ଟିସିପେଟରୀ ମେଥଡ, ଏଗୁଡାକ ଏନରିଚ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଏଇ ମାନେ ସବୁ ସାହାଯ୍ୟ କରିଛନ୍ତି। ଦେନ୍ ନାଓ ହିଷ୍ଟ୍ରି ଅଫ ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କ through social movement in India. Next unit is social work, development of social work through reform movements. Movement ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ there is no large difference between reformers and reform movements. Okay, ତେଣୁ ତଥାପି ବି ଆମେ ଟିକେ briefly discuss କରିଦେବା so that you are aware of some of the issues. Okay, ଯେମିତି ଆମେ ଆଗରୁ ଦେଖିଲେ some of the reform movements like particularly associated to ଏଇଟା reform movements କୁ ମଧ୍ୟ divide କରାହେଇଛି ତାଙ୍କର ମାନେ ଯୋଉ ସେମାନଙ୍କର orientation on the basis of religious orientation, ସେମାନେ କୋଉ religious orientation ରେ କାମ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ସେଇଟାକୁ ଧରିକି ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ କ୍ଲାସିଫାଇ କରାହେଇଛି। ହିନ୍ଦୁ ରିଲିଜିଅନ ର ଓରିଏଣ୍ଟେସନ ରେ ଯୋଉ ରିଫର୍ମ ମୁଭମେଣ୍ଟ ଗୁଡାକ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହେଇଥିଲା ସେଗୁଡାକ ହେଲା ବ୍ରହ୍ମ ସମାଜ, ଯାହା ବିଷୟରେ ମୁଁ କହୁଥିଲି ଅଲରେଡି। ରାଜା ରାମମୋହନ ରୟ କରିଥିଲେ, ଏଷ୍ଟାବ୍ଲିଶ କରିଥିଲେ 1828 ରେ। ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା ଆର୍ଯ୍ୟ ସମାଜ, ଯୋଉଟା ଗୋ ବ୍ୟାକ୍ ଟୁ ବେଦସ୍ କ୍ଲାରିୟନ କଲ୍ ଦେଇଥିଲେ ଦୟାନନ୍ଦ ସରସ୍ୱତୀ, ଯୋଉଟାକୁ 1875 ରେ ଇଏ କରିଥିଲେ। ସେମାନେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ସୋସିଆଲ ଇସ୍ୟୁଜ କୁ ନେଇକି କାମ କରିଥିଲେ। Okay, from the direction of Hindu philosophy. Okay, then Ramakrishna Mission, it was established by Swami Vivekanand. It was also working on liberation of women, then caste, uh, yes, caste, and economic liberation of people, liberty and equality ଉପରେ କାମ କରିଥିଲେ ରାମକୃଷ୍ଣ ମିଶନ। Then Pratna Samaj also was established by Mahadev Govindra Ranade, and it also worked in similar lines, um, reducing inequality in the society. Satyasodhak movement by Jyotiya Phule, as I have already spoken to you, it was also dedicated for the emancipation of this one lower caste people and weaker members of the society. And the Young Bengal movement, it was also um, um, established by the students of uh, English professor in Calcutta University, and it mainly worked on superstition and malpractices and corruption in the area, and used many press media to expose people through different news and messages to the people. It was movement of students to deal with corruption and malpractices in the society. Then from the Muslim Muslim oriented this one movements, among the Muslim oriented movements, the Aligarh movement of Sir Saeed Ahmad was a famous one. They also worked against superstition. This movement also worked on superstition, and as I said you already, um, this one Ahmad Sir Saeed Ahmad wanted to spread modern education, and he was influenced by liberal philosophy of the Western countries. He believed that this oligarch movement believed that through education, through modern education, the people, many superstitious beliefs can be addressed, removed from the society, and they waged war against superstition, and they spread rationalism, sense of rationalism in the country through modern education mainly. Okay, so this was educational technique, and advocacy techniques were used to solve social problems, different social problems. Then there was another movement known for uh, social work practice in India. That was Tabligh movement. Tabligh movement. It was basically targeting the Mios, the Hindus who were converted to Islam in the northern states, particularly northern states. Some Hindus were converted to uh, Islam religion, but they did not follow the laws and principles of Islamism. They had a mix. I mean, sometimes they went to masjid, sometimes they went to temple, and followed a mixed culture, which was not pure, according to this Tabligh movement. That's why they started spreading pure practices among those Muslims, and they tried to solve conflict between um, Hindus and Islam, Hindu and Islam, through spreading a light of spiritualism, education, and rationalism. Then these were some of the reform movements who upheld the philosophy of humanitarianism, means for the benefit of humans, for the benefit of the society, for human happiness. The organization, the philosophy of working for human happiness is known as humanitarianism. The effort to work for the happiness of human being, welfare of human being, well-being of human society is known as humanitarian intervention. So all of them, these organizations work for humanitarian this one cause and development of the society. So the other this one um, movement was another movement was backward class movement in the south. It was very much in the south. All these movements came up, um, and one of them also got in the western part of the country. Dravidian movement. Dravidian movement, as you know, it was movement of the peasants and backward caste people in the south, and they mainly fought for their rights, equal rights, and they for this one, fought against the exploitative caste system in the Indian society, and there was large scale awareness spread among the people to stand united, and they also influence the government to make this anti-caste legislations. Then another one, that was SNDP. SNDP means Sri Narayana Dharma Pratipalana. Sri Narayana Dharma Pratipalana. It was this one pioneered by uh, Narayan Guru. We saw in the previous this one section. This was also very much trying to bring spiritual reform and social reform through spiritual reform in Kerala. It integrated the spiritual reform with social reform, and tried to address many this one spiritual sorry social evils in the state, in the particularly in southern area. They spread many philosophical upcomings uh, in the society, those of which can be helpful for social progress and development. Then another movement was that Mahar caste movement in Maharashtra. Again, I said this Mahar caste is particularly known as Maharashtra. Uh, and of course, it spreads across this one, some part of Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh as well, as it is known. Um, this Mahar movement was also against caste-based exploitation, and they worked for liberation of untouchables and lower caste people, and they used the advocacy strategy for their liberation and emancipation. Those days, forced labor and denial of education, schooling against the lower caste were uh, really advocated against, and a lot of change was done by this Mahar movement. Then, um, last unit of this block, that is social work practice and NGOs in India. NGOs in India. या विषय कहला बेले मने पड़े जे सोशल वर्क मु कहूली सोशल वर्क प्रोफेशनल सोशल वर्क रे बहुत समय लोक माने सोशल वर्कर कहले एनजीओ को रेफर करते एनजीओ को रेफर करते ଆଉ ଏଇ ଏନଜିଓ ଦ୍ୱାରା ହିଁ ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କ କରାଯାଇ ପାରିବ ଏଇଟା ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ ଧାରଣା ପ୍ରିକନସିଭ୍ଡ ଆଇଡିଆ ପ୍ରେଜୁଡିସ୍ ତେଣୁ ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କର କହିଲେ ଏନଜିଓ ବାଲା ସମସ୍ତେ ପଚାରନ୍ତି ମୁଁ ଯୋଉଟା କହୁଥିଲି one of the criteria one of the criteria of this one professional social work that was social recognition ଆମର ଇଣ୍ଡିଆରେ ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କର ମାନଙ୍କର ରେକଗ୍ନିସନ ହେଲା ଏନଜିଓ ୱାର୍କର ମୁଁ ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ କହୁଛି ରିଲେଟ କରୁଛି ଯେ ଏନଜିଓସ୍ ମାନଙ୍କ ସହିତ ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କକୁ ବହୁତ ରିଲେଟ କରାଯାଏ that's why it is important to understand some of the this one NGOs that are operating to help develop social work practice in India. Of course, এই ମ୍ୟାଟେରିଆଲରେ ଆମକୁ ଯେତିକି ଦିଆ ହେଇଛି ସେମାନଙ୍କ ଠାରୁ ବହୁତ ସାରା ଏନଜିଓ more than maybe at the current stage near about 10,000 NGOs will be there in India. 10,000 NGOs, thousands of NGOs there in India. Small, ସବୁ ଛୋଟ ବଡ଼ ମିଶିକି but there are few very known. Those are INGOs, international NGOs. Those are called international NGOs and national NGOs and state level NGOs and local level NGOs are there. Okay, local level NGOs are there. There are civil societies. They are known in different names. Voluntary organizations, civil society organization, community-based organizations. Okay, then yes, international organizations and many other names. They are uh, associations. Okay, trusts also. Some trusts also, of course, they are coming under even Companies Act, but some trusts also are working as NGOs. So there were some premier earliest NGOs that really supported in social work culturing social work towards professional practices, professional social work. Earliest among them was All India Women Conference. It was established in 1927. Okay, 27. It was one of the oldest this one, voluntary organization in India. In India, it uh, worked for the liberation of women from gender injustice and ୟାର ମେମ୍ବର ମାନେ ବହୁତ ସଂଖ୍ୟାରେ ବହୁତ ଜାଗାରେ କନଫରେନ୍ସ ସେମିନାର ଡିସ୍କସନ୍ ମିଟିଂସ୍ କରିକି ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କୁ ଆସୋସିଏଟ୍ କରିକି ୱିମେନ୍ ମାନଙ୍କର ଅଧିକାର ପାଇଁ ଫାଇଟ୍ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଲୋକାଲ ଲେଭେଲରେ ବହୁତ ସାରା ନେଟୱାର୍କ ଆଉ ସଂଘ ତିଆରି କରିକି ୱିମେନ୍ ମାନଙ୍କର ଇନଜଷ୍ଟିସ୍ ପାଇଁ କାମ କରୁଥିଲେ। ସରି, ୱିମେନ୍ ମାନଙ୍କର ଜଷ୍ଟିସ୍ ପାଇଁ କାମ କରୁଥିଲେ, ୱିମେନ୍ ମାନଙ୍କର ଇନଜଷ୍ଟିସ୍ ଏଗେନଷ୍ଟରେ କାମ କରୁଥିଲେ। ଓକେ, and they tried to integrate equal rights and equal opportunities of women. Integrity, equal rights and equal opportunities of women by କାମ ବହୁତ ସଂଖ୍ୟାରେ କରିଛନ୍ତି। There is elaborate text in your material, you can go through them. Because of shortage of time, we are not able to cover them very extensively. ମୁଁ ଖାଲି ଜଷ୍ଟ ଟିକେ hints ଆଉ introduction ଦେବା ପାଇଁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରୁଛି about the to prick your memory. Okay, and there was another very early among the earliest NGOs with regard to children, Indian Council of Child Welfare. This later on led to NIFSEED and National Plan of Action for Children and many other national plan ICDS ଏଗୁଡାକୁ ଗାଇଡ୍ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଏ ବହୁତ ପ୍ରମୁଖ ଭୂମିକା ଗୋଟେ ବ୍ୟାକଗ୍ରାଉଣ୍ଡ ତିଆରି କରିଥିଲା ଇଣ୍ଡିଆନ କାଉନସିଲ ଫର ଚାଇଲ୍ଡ ୱେଲଫେୟାର। ତେଣୁ ଏଇଟା ମଧ୍ୟ ଏନଜିଓ ଭାବରେ ବହୁତ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁଟ କରିଛି, particularly dealing with social work, dealing with this one child issues, okay, child rights ଏମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ କାମ କରିଛି। There was another NGO which is already means till continuing in India, that is SOS Village, Save Our Soul. SOS is Save Our Soul. SOS Village ର concept actually ବହୁତ ଭଲ ଲାଗିଥିଲା ମୁଁ ଯେତେବେଳେ SOS Village visit କରିଥିଲି। It is a very innovative idea। ଏମାନେ SOS Village ଅଣ୍ଡରରେ କଣ କରନ୍ତି, ଏମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ପାର୍ଟିକୁଲାର ଜେଗ୍ରାଫିକାଲ ଏରିଆରେ ବାଉଣ୍ଡରୀ ନେଇକି ଗୋଟେ ଭଲ ଏନଭାୟରନମେଣ୍ଟ ଗୋଟେ କ୍ରିଏଟ କରିକି ବାଉଣ୍ଡରୀ ଗୋଟେ ବଡ ପ୍ୟାଚ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଜାଗା ନେଇକି ସେଇଠି ଗୋଟେ ଗାଁ ଆର୍ଟିଫିସିଆଲ ଗାଁ ତିଆରି କରନ୍ତି। ଗାଁଟା ତିଆରି ହୁଏ କେମିତି, ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି କୁ ନେଇକି ଗାଁ ତିଆରି ହୁଏ। ତ ସେମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ବହୁତ ବଡ ଏରିଆରେ ନ୍ୟାଚୁରାଲ ଗୋଟେ ମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ଲେସ୍ ତିଆରି କରିକି ସେଇଠି ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି 15 to 20 ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି ଏମାନେ କ୍ରିଏଟ କରନ୍ତି। ସିଏ ବି ଆର୍ଟିଫିସିଆଲ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି ବଟ୍ ଲୁକ୍ସ ଲାଇକ୍ ଭେରି ନ୍ୟାଚୁରାଲ। ଯୋଉ ଛୁଆ ମାନଙ୍କୁ ଏମାନେ ହେଲ୍ପଲେସ୍, ଡେଜର୍ଟେଡ, ନେଗ୍ଲେକ୍ଟେଡ, ଅର୍ଫାନ୍ ଚିଲଡ୍ରେନ ମାନେ ଯୋଉମାନଙ୍କୁ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଜାଗାରୁ ପିକ୍ କରାଯାଏ, ମାନେ ଅର୍ଫାନ୍ ଚିଲଡ୍ରେନ ମାନେ ହେଲେ ଯୋଉମାନେ ମାନେ ପରିତ୍ୟକ୍ତ ଛୁଆ ଗୁଡାକ, ନେଗ୍ଲେକ୍ଟେଡ ଛୁଆ ଗୁଡାକ, ଏଇମାନଙ୍କୁ ଉଠେଇକି ଅଣାଯାଏ। SOS ଭିଲେଜ ଆଣିଲା ପରେ ସିଏ ଗୋଟେ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି ମାନେ ଆର୍ଟିଫିସିଆଲ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି ତିଆରି କରାଯାଏ। ତା ଭିତରେ ଘର ଗୁଡାକ ଥିବ SOS ଭିଲେଜ ରେ, ଘର ଗୁଡାକ ଗୋଟେ ସେଟିଂ ଡିଷ୍ଟାନ୍ସ ରେ, ଯେମିତି ଗାଁରେ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଘର ଗୁଡାକ ଥାଏ ସେମିତି ଘର ତିଆରି କରେ। ସେଇଠି ଜଣେ ମାଙ୍କୁ ସେ ସେଇ ଘରେ ଆପଏଣ୍ଟ କରେ, ସ୍ପେସିଫିକାଲି ମଦର। ଆଉ ସେଇଠି 10-15 ଜଣ ଛୁଆ ଆଲର୍ଟ ହୁଅନ୍ତି ଜଣେ ମା ପାଇଁ। ଆଉ ସେଠି ସମସ୍ତେ ତାକୁ ମା ଡାକନ୍ତି। ଆଉ ସିଏ ଗୋଟେ ନ୍ୟାଚୁରାଲ ମା ଭଳି ଛୁଆଙ୍କୁ ଛୋଟ ବେଳୁ ଯତ୍ନ, ସେଇ ପରିବାରରେ ବଡରୁ ଛୋଟ ଛୁଆ ମାନେ ସବୁ ଥାନ୍ତି। ବଡ ଛୁଆ ମାନେ ଯୋଉମାନେ ପାଠ ପଢୁଥାନ୍ତି, କଲେଜରେ ପାଠ ପଢନ୍ତି, ଆଉ କିଛି ଛୁଆ ବି ଥାନ୍ତି ଯୋଉମାନେ ଚାକିରି ବି କରୁଛନ୍ତି। ସେମାନଙ୍କର ଦରମା ଯୋଉଟା ପାଉଛନ୍ତି ସେମାନେ ମାଙ୍କୁ ଦଉଛନ୍ତି, ମାଙ୍କୁ ହେଲ୍ପ କରୁଛନ୍ତି, ସେମାନଙ୍କର ଲାଇଫକୁ ଦେଖିବା ସହିତ ମାକୁ ମଧ୍ୟ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁଟ କରନ୍ତି। ଆଉ କିଛି ଛୁଆ ସ୍କୁଲ ଲେଭେଲରେ ପଢୁଛନ୍ତି, ଆଉ କିଛି ଛୁଆ ପୁରା ଛୋଟ ଅଛନ୍ତି, ଆଉ କିଛି ଛୁଆ ପୁରା ବେବି କଣ୍ଡିସନରେ ଅଛନ୍ତି ଯୋଉମାନଙ୍କୁ ଫ୍ରେଶ ଉଠେଇକି ନିଆ ହେଇଛି। ତ ଏଇଭଳି ଭାବରେ ପୁରା ଗୋଟେ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲିର ଏନଭାୟରନମେଣ୍ଟ ସେଠି କ୍ରିଏଟ ହେଇଛି। ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ ହାଉ ମାନେ ଏଇଠି କୌଣସି ପାର୍ଟିକୁଲାର ମେଥଡ को यूज न करी इंटीग्रेटिवली एठी बहुत सारा सोशल वर्क रो मेथड यूज करी ए कांसेप्ट स्टार्ट करा हेछि चली इंडिया रे एसओएस विलेज रे if you get chance you can visit it is there is a SOS village on the way to some hospital. Okay, after studio chuck towards some hospital on the left side এটা পড়ে SOS village যদি কে ইন্টারেস্টেড অଛନ୍ତି কেତେବେଳେ visit କରିବା ପାଇଁ you can visit SOS village concept. I was really impressed when I saw this concept. Then another this one NGO was also Ramakrishna Mission, one of the earliest one created by Swami Vivekanand. It has also different network in different places. It also operates for this one care of women, children, and people, destitute people. Destitute people. ଏବେ ବହୁତ ବହୁତ ସାରା ଫାଉଣ୍ଡେସନ୍ସ ଗୁଡାକ ବାହାରିଗଲା ଫାଉଣ୍ଡେସନ୍ସ ଗୁଡାକ ଏନଜିଓ ଗୁଡାକ ଡେଭଲପ କରିଛନ୍ତି ଯେମିତି କୈଳାସ ସତ୍ୟାର୍ଥୀ ଫାଉଣ୍ଡେସନ ମେଲିଣ୍ଡା ଗେଟ୍ ଫାଉଣ୍ଡେସନ ବହୁତ ସାରା ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ ଏନଜିଓସ୍ ବାହାରିଗଲାଣି ଆଉ numbers of NGOs have really TISRO भी गोटे टाटा फाउंडेशन मध्य सोशल सर्विस फाउंडेशन मध्य गोटे अच्छी टाटा ट्रस्ट फाउंडेशन आउ ଏଇ ଗୁଡାକ ରିଏଲି ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କ ର ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିସ କୁ ଏନରିଚ କରୁଛନ୍ତି लिटरेचर गुड़ाक डेभलप कर रिसर्च कर एनजीओ गुड़ाक रिसर्च कर डिफरेंट आस्पेक्ट रे विमेन आस्पेक्ट विमेन एम्पावरमेंट चिल्ड्रन चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट यूथ एम्पावरमेंट यूथ डेवलपमेंट विभिन्न अति छोट छोट स्पेसिफिक सोशल इश्यूज अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट डिजीज हेल्थ इश्यूज ए उपरे रिसर्च करी से सोशल वर्क लिटरेचर को एनरिच कर आउ मेथड गुड़ा को एनहांस डेवलप कर सोशल वर्क प्रैक्टिस दिस इज हाउ फ्रॉम olden days to till today social work has evolved into ମୁଁ କହିବି professional practice ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଦିଟା କ୍ରାଇଟେରିଆ ଡେଭଲପ ହବାର ଅଛି ଇଟ୍ ଟେକ୍ସ ଟାଇମ୍ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ରେକଗ୍ନିସନ ନ ଆସିବାର ଆଉ କେତେଟା କାରଣ ଅଛି ଯୋଉଥିପାଇଁ ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କ ସୋସିଆଲ ରେକଗ୍ନିସନ ଟା ଠିକରେ ପାଇପାରୁନି सोशल वर्क टा माने राइटली जो स्पीड रे माने पॉपुलैरिटी गेन करिया कथा सेटा करि पारुनी कारण सेटा मु आउ केतेबेले टाइम बंचिले एई क्लास रे ही एई सीरीज रे ही मु कहबी नाउ बिफोर getting it close आउ थरे मु opportunity दउची स्टूडेंट मान को if you have any question and queries you can now raise them. Okay, any question, queries or clarification, please come up to me, put up to me. Friends, if you have any queries, questions, then I'm ready to take. Anyone? Then in the next class, ଆମେ social work practice and major religions, contribution of religions and social work practice in India, ଏଇଟାକୁ in a greater detail ଆମେ ଟିକେ ଦେଖିବା। ମୁଁ କାଲି ଜଷ୍ଟ କିଛି ମାନେ ହିଣ୍ଟସ ଦଉଥିଲି ଏଇଥିପାଇଁ କି ଆପଣ ମାନେ ସେ ବିଷୟରେ ଟିକେ ପଢିବେ, ତାକୁ ରିଲେଟ କରି କହିକି ମ୍ୟାଟେରିଆଲ ଗୁଡାକୁ ଟିକେ ଦେଖିବେ କହିକି ମୁଁ କହୁଥିଲି। ୟା ବିଷୟରେ ବି ଟିକେ କହିଥିଲି। ଆପଣ ମାନେ ସେଇ contribution of religions, different major religions ଯେମିତି ଆମର ହିନ୍ଦୁଇଜମ, ଇସଲାମ ଆଉ ଖ୍ରୀଷ୍ଟିଆନିଟି, ବୁଦ୍ଧିଜମ, ଜୈନିଜମ and ଶିଖିଜମ, ଏଇ 5-6ଟା ରିଲିଜନ ର କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁସନ ଆପଣ ବେସିକାଲି କ୍ୟାପଚର କରିବେ। ଆପଣଙ୍କର ରିଲିଜନ ର ଫିଲୋସଫି କଣ କହୁଛି, ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ରିଲିଜନ ର ଫିଲୋସଫି କଣ କହୁଛି, ତାର ଫିଲୋସଫି କଣ, ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ରିଲିଜନ ର ନିଜ ନିଜର ଫିଲୋସଫି ଅଛି ବା ବେସିକ ଟେନେଟ୍ସ ଅଛି। ବେସିକ ଟେନେଟ୍ସ ଅଛି। ଇଭେନ ମୁଁ ଯୋଉ ବୁକ୍ କଥା କହୁଥିଲି ମୋର, ସେଇଟାକୁ ଡାଉନଲୋଡ କରିକି ବି ଆପଣ ଆଉ ଟିକେ ସିମ୍ପଲିଫାଇ କରିକି ବୁଝିବା ପାଇଁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରିପାରିବେ, ପଢିପାରିବେ ସେଇଟାକୁ। any any anyone has got it, ଦେଖିଛନ୍ତି? ଓକେ, ସୋ ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ ରିଲିଜିଅନ ର କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁସନ, ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କ ପାଇଁ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁସନ କୁ ବୁଝିବାକୁ ହେଲେ ଆମକୁ ପ୍ରଥମେ ସେଇ ରିଲିଜିଅନ ର ସ୍କ୍ରିପଚର କଣ କହୁଛି, ତାର ବେସିକ ଟେନେଟ୍ସ କଣ ସେଇ ରିଲିଜିଅନ ର। ସପୋଜ ହିନ୍ଦୁଇଜମ କେମିତି ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କ କୁ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁଟ କରୁଛି, ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କ ପ୍ରଫେସନ ର ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟ ପାଇଁ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁଟ କରୁଛି, ତାକୁ ଜାଣିବାକୁ ହେଲେ, ତାକୁ ଡିସକସ କରିବାକୁ ହେଲେ ଆମକୁ ପ୍ରଥମେ ଦେଖିବାକୁ ପଡିବ ଯେ ସୋସିଆଲ ମାନେ ହିନ୍ଦୁ ରିଲିଜନ ର ଫିଲୋସଫି କଣ, ମେନ୍ ଫିଲୋସଫି କଣ, ତାର ସ୍କ୍ରିପଚର କଣ କହୁଛି, କଣ କୋଉ ମାନେ କୋଉ ଫିଲୋସଫି ଉପରେ କଣ କହୁଛି, ତାପରେ ତାର ବେସିକ ଟେନେଟ୍ସ କଣ, ତାଙ୍କର ଗାଇଡଲାଇନ୍ସ କଣ ଅଛି, ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କ ଉପରେ ଆଇଡିଓଲୋଜିକାଲ ଗାଇଡଲାଇନ୍ସ, ସ୍ପେସିଫିକ ଗାଇଡଲାଇନ୍ସ କଣ ଅଛି। ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଭର୍ସରେ, ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଚାପ୍ଟରରେ, ଗୀତାରେ ବହୁତ ସାରା ଜିନିଷ କୁହାଯାଇଛି। ମାନେ ହିନ୍ଦୁଇଜମ ର ଗୀତାରେ ସୋସିଆଲ ସର୍ଭିସ ଆଉ ଅନ୍ୟର ପରୋପକାର, ଦାନ, ଧର୍ମ ବିଷୟରେ ବହୁତ ସାରା କଥା କୁହାଯାଇଛି। ତ ସେଗୁଡାକ ବି ଲିପିବଦ୍ଧ ଅଛି, ତାକୁ ରିଲେଟ କରିବାର ଅଛି। ସେଇଟା କେମିତି ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କ ର ଫିଲୋସଫିକୁ ସପୋର୍ଟ କରୁଛି, ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କ ର ପ୍ରିନ୍ସିପଲ ସହିତ କେମିତି ସେ ଯୋଡି ହେଇପାରିବ, ଇଣ୍ଟରଲିଙ୍କ ହେଇପାରିବ, that you have to understand। କେମିତି ସେ ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କ ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିସ ସହିତ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ମେଥଡସ, ଯୋଉ ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କ ର ଫିଲୋସଫି ଅଛି, ନିଜର ମେଥଡସ ଅଛି, ପ୍ରିନ୍ସିପଲ୍ସ ଅଛି, ତା ସହିତ ରିଲିଜିୟସ ପ୍ରିନ୍ସିପଲ, ରିଲିଜିୟସ ଫିଲୋସଫି, ରିଲିଜିୟସ ଗାଇଡଲାଇନ୍ସ କେମିତି ରିଲେଟ, ଇଣ୍ଟର କନେକ୍ଟେଡ, ସେଇଟାକୁ ଦେଖିବାର ଅଛି ଆପଣ ପଢିଲା ବେଳେ। ରିଲିଜିୟସ ମାନେ ରିଲିଜନ, କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁସନ ଅଫ ରିଲିଜନ ଟୁୱାର୍ଡସ social professionalization of social work ଯଦି ଆପଣ ଦେଖିବେ, then you have to look at these three things। ପ୍ରଥମ କଥା ହେଲା ରିଲିଜନ ର ନିଜର ଫିଲୋସଫି, ମେନ୍ ଫିଲୋସଫି, ଦେନ୍ ତାର ଯୋଉ ସ୍ପେସିଫିକ ଗାଇଡଲାଇନ୍ସ ଅଛି ସୋସିଆଲ ସର୍ଭିସ ପାଇଁ, ହ୍ୟୁମାନ ସର୍ଭିସ ପାଇଁ, ପରୋପକାର ପାଇଁ, ସେଇ ଜିନିଷ ବେସିକ ଟେନେଟ୍ସ। ତାପରେ how it is connected with direct, involved in direct human service, social service, ସେଇଟା ଆଉ how it is linked to social work practice, how it is linked to social work practice, ସେଇଟାକୁ ଦେଖିବାକୁ ପଡିବ। ଓକେ, ସୋ ସେଇ ହିସାବରେ ଦେଖିକି ଏ 5ଟା ରିଲିଜନ ର ଟିକେ ପଢିକି ଆସିବେ, ହୋମୱାର୍କ କରିକି ଆସିବେ। ଆମେ କାଲି ସେଇଟା ପଢିବା ସହିତ ଆମକୁ ଆଗକୁ ବଢିବାର ଅଛି। ଓକେ, ଆଉ କାହାର କିଛି କହିବାର ଅଛି? I think you all are tired।
ନା ନା ସାର୍,
ଭୋକ ହେଲାଣି କି?
ନା ନା ସାର୍ କିଛି ଭୋକ ନାହିଁ, ଆମର ତ ଏଠି 3:30 ହେଇଛି।
ହଁ। ଆପଣ କୋଉଠି ଅଛନ୍ତି ପ୍ରଶାନ୍ତ ବାବୁ?
ସାର୍ ମୁଁ ଏମ୍ବାସି ଅଫ୍ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ ଆଙ୍କାରା ଟର୍କିରେ ଅଛି ଏବେ।
କୋଉଠି କୋଉଠି?
ତୁର୍କୀ ଏମ୍ବାସିରେ ଅଛି ସାର୍।
ଆଚ୍ଛା ତର୍କିଏରେ। ହଁ
ଆଜ୍ଞା ଆଜ୍ଞା,
ହଁ ହଁ ହଁ
ଆମର 3:30 ହେଇଛି ସାର୍।
ହଁ ହଁ ହଁ। That's good. Okay, students. ମୁଁ still I give you. I'm there to respond. କାହାର କିଛି ଡାଉଟ୍ ଅଛି କି? ଆଚ୍ଛା ପ୍ରଶାନ୍ତ ବାବୁ, ଆପଣ ଟର୍କିରେ କେମିତି ଆପଣ ଫିଲ୍ଡ ୱାର୍କ କରୁଛନ୍ତି?
ସାର୍ ମୁଁ ଏପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଫିଲ୍ଡ ୱାର୍କ କରିନି, ମୋର ଏଇ ମାସରେ ଯିବାର ଥିଲା, ମେ ବି 2-3 months ଲେଟ୍ ହେଇଯିବ।
ହଁ ହଁ
ତ ମୁଁ ସାର୍ ମେ ବି ଏପ୍ରିଲରେ ଗଲେ ଏକାଥରେ 4 ମାସ ଛୁଟି ନେବି।
ହଁ ହଁ।
ତ ପରୀକ୍ଷା ପାଇଁ ସେ ଫିଲ୍ଡ ୱାର୍କ ପାଇଁ ସବୁ ଏକା ସମୟରେ ହିଁ ହେଇଯିବ, ମୁଁ ଯାହା ଏକ୍ସପେକ୍ଟ କରୁଛି ସାର୍। ମୁଁ ଜାଣିନି ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିକାଲି କଣ ହେଉଛି, ବଟ୍ ସେଇ ଟାଇମରେ ମୁଁ ଭାବୁଛି ପଳେଇବି ସିଧା ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର, ପଳେଇଲେ ସେଟିଂ ହେଇଯିବ ପୁଣି।
ଆଚ୍ଛା ଆଚ୍ଛା ହଁ।
ସାର୍
ହଁ ସେଟା ବି କରାଯାଇପାରିବ। 4 months adequate।
ସାର୍
4 months ଯଦି ଡେଡିକେଟେଡ୍ କାମ କରାଯିବ ତାହେଲେ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
you
ଆଜ୍ଞା
can complete
ସାର୍
you can complete them. Okay. Even if any guidance you need
ଆଜ୍ଞା
being there, ସେଇଠି ବି ଏନଜିଓ ଗୁଡାକ ଥିବ କିମ୍ବା ସୋସିଆଲ ୱାର୍କ ରିଲେଟେଡ୍ ଯଦି କିଛି ଥିବ ଆପଣ ସେଇଠି ବି କରିପାରିବେ, if you really can access them, ହେଲା।
ସାର୍ ଆଜ୍ଞା
କରିପାରିବେ। ଏଇଠି କରିବେ ବୋଲି ସେମିତି କିଛି ମାନେ ନାହିଁ। ଆପଣ ଯୋଉଠି ରହୁଛନ୍ତି ସେଠି ବି ପାଖାପାଖି ଯଦି କିଛି ସେମିତି ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ ଅଛନ୍ତି ଲାଇକ୍ ୟୁନିସେଫ or other organ, but they are too professional to handle with. Okay, ବହୁତ ସାରା
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ପାରାଫର୍ନାଲିଜ୍ ସେମାନଙ୍କର ଅଛି। It may get difficult for you. ଲୋକାଲ ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ ହେଲେ ଟିକେ
ଆଜ୍ଞା ହଁ ହଁ
ଇଏ ହବ, ସୁବିଧା ହବ, ଟିକେ ଆରାମସେ ଆପଣ କରିପାରିବେ, ଫ୍ଲେକ୍ସିବଲି
ଆଜ୍ଞା
କରିପାରିବେ।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ଆଜ୍ଞା
ତେଣୁ କରିବେ, କିଛି ଅସୁବିଧା ନାହିଁ। କିଛି ମୋର ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟସ୍ ବି ଥିଲେ ଦୁବାଇରୁ, ସେମାନେ ବି କରିଥିଲେ।
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ସେଭଳିଆ କରି ହେଇଯିବ, କିଛି ଅସୁବିଧା ନାହିଁ। And IGNO also has a very flexible approach for getting these things done. Okay, I also personally am flexible towards the students. Student friendly approach we adopt so that no problem happens to the student. Okay, students. See you in the next class. Bye bye.
ସାର୍ ନମସ୍କାର।
Namaskar.